Hey guys. I'm just gonna let this populate in Instagram. It takes a little bit, but we're live on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram. So here we go. I'm gonna go live right now on Instagram. Awesome. So now we're live. So anyway, welcome to day number 12 of my journey from $10 to $20,000 a month to $100,000 a month wholesaling. Today, my promise was 8 live seller conversations and 4 offers. And I actually did 9 conversations and had 4 offers. And between me and my team member Santi, we actually had 13 conversations and 4 offers. So so the promise was kept again. So it wasn't a big cash day. We didn't bring any revenue in today, or we didn't have any contracts, but we did the reps. We did what we were supposed to. So anyway, let's get on to the big the big lesson. So segment number 2 is going to be basically about getting in the rooms with people doing bigger numbers. So today I had a call with Chandler Slane and some of his members in his you know inner circle program or whatever. And big lesson today came from, you know, one of the things that he said is that they actually score, their setters based on who follows the process. So they said that at some point they had a big team, like eight lead setters, you know, and they recorded the calls, and then they found out they had someone who just reviewed calls all day, like, basically. And what they found out is that out of the 8, there was 1 or 2 that did better than everybody else. And what they did better is that they actually followed the sales process. And so that makes a big difference, right? So um that's pretty cool, if you follow the sales process, you get bigger percentages of conversion. So that's awesome. And another thing that they taught me was is that you can just score a lead and the closer. So for example, a lead might be a 10, right? If the seller has, like, is in foreclosure, or is behind on payments, or something like that. So the point is that um they they also score the closer as well, right? So if the closer, did a 5 out of 10 job of closing that lead, right? Then the lead was a 10, but the closer was a 5, right? And so the goal is to have the best leads go to the best closers, because that gives, us the odds of closing the most deals, right? So that's pretty cool. And then the last thing is something that I brought up in the conversation. We talked about basically how I created this AI closer coach, on Gemini, and he said how he was also creating one on his own for his team. And I mentioned the statistics, basically, that if you run all your calls through someone that is through, like, a AI closer chatbot like Gemini, it can score your calls. And so that's going to give you, like, instant feedback on what you did right and what you did wrong. And so it's a pretty good thing. Like, it's a pretty cool thing to do, so that you can get feedback and just get better at wholesaling. So that's pretty much it. And then the last thing is that, people, people that are been in the game longer, they know more. And so, for example, I asked them, like, hey, could you share with me, on what Facebook page you're running your ads, so I can kind of see what ads you're running, right? And then ask them about the questions he's running. And so they're qualifying the leads a little bit more than I am. And maybe that's one of the reasons why they're getting better leads. But yeah, scoring the leads, asking them questions is important. Like, how long they've owned the property, is it listed, why they're selling. These different things actually help you as you know the buyer, right, come in, or as the wholesaler, to essentially find out more motivation about them and just get in there and close it more quickly. So So anyway, those are some good things. System upgrade today. I worked on the qualification part for TikTok. Basically, I'm trying to set that up so that when a lead comes in, I know whether they're qualified or not based on if they're listed and based on if they're, if the property has been owned for 3 years or more. So those are some good things. Once I have that set up, I'm gonna be able to run ads and actually give feedback back to TikTok. So I'm still working on that, and that's pretty much it. My my promise for tomorrow, my 100K promise for tomorrow is going to be, tomorrow's a full work day. I know the holidays are coming up, but it's still a full work day for me. And I'm going to have 8 live seller conversations, 4 offers, and 30 minutes of focused follow up on the hottest leads, right, that are getting closer to be signed. So that's where I'm at. um What's up to the chat, Mr. Aragon? Hello back. Um, anyway, so that's pretty much it. So, um, all in all, if you want to watch the real climb from $10,000 to $20,000 a month wholesaling real estate to $100,000 a month wholesaling real estate, not just the highlight reels, but really everything that goes on in the business. Follow and subscribe and turn on notifications for day 3. And if you are someone like an operator who's running a business and you're making over $50,000 a month profit, go ahead and DM me on Instagram and submit the word podcast, and I'll reach out to you and I'll set up a podcast with you so we can talk a little bit more about what's working in your business.